The Golden Man symbolizes the historical heritage of the Great Steppe and has become a national brand. The Golden Man exhibition continues its tour through the museums all over the world. Over the past 2 years, the unique project of the National Museum of Kazakhstan and the Ministry of Culture and Sports presented the exhibition in the countries of near and far abroad, introducing the world to the civilization of the nomadic people. The specialists of the National Museum, including researchers, restorers, exhibitors, and curators, are preparing the exhibition for an important journey. Some 207 exhibits from the archaeological, gold, and silver funds are packed in special boxes. Kazakhstan's largest domestic museum has a considerable number of artifacts interconnecting with the history of Turkey.
Между Казахстаном и Турцией очень много общего. Даже вот если заглянуть в прошлое, у нас
Kazakhstan and Turkey have a lot in common. According to the history, we have the same roots. We are all Turkic people, and once Oghuz tribes lived on the territory of Kazakhstan, and eventually they left, conquered Byzantium, and settled there. This is modern Turkey, and their roots are based on the territory of Kazakhstan. The southern region starting from Turkestan, the Kizilorda region, the Aral Sea region, further to the Caspian Sea were the territories of the Oghuz tribes.
И Кызылординская область, Приоралье. Дальше до Каспийского моря это были территории угузских племен.
We will follow the tracks of the Oghuz. The capital of modern Turkey is Ankara, an ancient city with a rich history. It was a part of ancient Greece and 3 empires, Roman, Byzantine, and Ottoman. In the 20th century, a new epoch started in Ankara. The first president of Turkey, Kemal Atatürk, chooses Ankara as his headquarters and capital of the country. Tourists love Ankara. They start to explore the city from the mausoleum of the founding father Kemal Atatürk, then go to the citadel and finish the trip in one of the best museums of its kind, in the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations. The Museum of Anatolian Civilizations is located in the historical center of Ankara. It is situated in the buildings of the mid-15th century, where the bazaar and caravanserai were once located. From the Neolithic era to the civilizations of the Assyrians, Hittites, Phrygian to antiquity, Byzantium and the Ottoman Empire. The Stone Age can boast to have many statuettes of the Mother Goddess, which tell how people went on hunting in the 7th millennium BC through ancient paintings. And the collection dedicated to the ancient Hittites is one of its kind in the whole world. There's an interesting fact that the funerary exhibits presented in the Museum of Anatolian Civilizations have some similarities with the findings from the Saka burials. The exhibits located in the windows are the findings from the burials of the royal nobility, which mainly consists of gold, silver, and bronze items. This part of the exposition is referred to as royal funeral items. According to the sources, the people who lived in this period, in the early Bronze Age, who used these items are the Hattians. The Hattians are the ancestors of the Hittites, and as we see from the Hittites chronicles, they called themselves the continuation of the Hatti people. If you take a closer look, you will see that the exhibits in these display cases are very good. All of these gold and silver items are very rare and valuable. At the same time when the Hattians lived on the Anatolian plateau, the Saka tribes erected burial mounds 5,000 kilometers to the east. And the Golden Man was found in one of these mounds in 1969 and named Isik as the place of its discovery. More than 4,000 gold items, jewelry and household items were also found there. 50 years later, the most rare exhibits of a distant era from different parts of Asia are now on display at the Turkish Museum. A silver bowl is one of the main artifacts in the exposition brought by the Kazakh Museum. It is only 2.5 centimeters of height. This object still needs time for detailed research and study.
Сейчас я вам хочу познакомить самый уникальный находку.
Now I want to show you the most unique finding displayed at this exhibition. This is the Isik small silver bowl with writing. We are proud to have the bowl in our collection. This bowl proves that there was a development of writing already in the era of nomadic tribes. This writing consists of 2 lines and 26 characters. It is based on the Aramaic alphabet, the Orkhon Yenisei script. To date, we have many transcripts of its inscriptions. And if we still do not know the meaning of the inscription on the bowl, then the language of the animal style is known today. Stylized images of totem animals and animal fighting scenes symbolize the confrontation between the elements, the confrontation between good and evil, the revival of life and its eternal movement.
Звериный стиль является ярчайшим проявлением нашей истории, ярчайшим явлением в мировой истории тоже, в том числе.
Animal style is the brightest manifestation of our history, the brightest phenomenon in the world history too. It fully characterizes the dynamic and vibrant time that began in the late Bronze Age, when our ancestors became nomads. It is characterized primarily by stylization. Stylization involves not only the reproduction of the animal itself, but rather an idea about it. For example, this beautiful belt plate was used in the design of the costume, the front belt of the famous Golden Man. It turns out this is a classic manifestation of the elements of the animal style as the stylization is present. The animal is depicted in a peculiar pose that is not typical for a predator, for example.
Изображено в своеобразной позе, конечно, которая не характерна для хищника, например.
As religion strengthened, the animal style gradually lost its original meaning. However, decorative images of animals can also be seen in medieval art, in jewelry, book miniatures, carvings of wood, stone, and bone. It was also seen in architecture, but in a more generalized form, acquiring the forms of a stylized ornament. These tendencies are expressed in the findings of the Sairam treasure from the 15th century, which are represented in the exhibition by pieces of jewelry. The mission of Kazakh scientists is to tell Turkish colleagues about the archaeology of Kazakhstan in their lectures. In addition, such events are a good opportunity to exchange experiences and establish new contacts.
Это первый приезд нашего золотого человека, золотого воина.
This is the first visit of the Golden Man, a golden warrior, to Turkey. It's not a coincidence Ankara hosts this exhibition. This is very important fact. In Ankara, immediately after the word Ankara, they say the word Ataturk. The Turks believe that Anadolu is their maternal side and Kazakh side has Atayurt, which is a paternal side. The exhibition dedicated to the Golden Man is the major event for all local people.
Вторая сторона монеты.
It was sunny and warm on the opening day of the exhibition. The Kazakh Orchestra of the State Philharmonic of the Nur Sultan city presented its own musical program among the stone statues of Anatolian culture. The audience applauded when the Great Steppe History and Culture exhibition was officially opened.
Енді екі елдің маңызы тұрғысынан бұл біріншіден өздеріңіз білесіздер, Қазақстан мен Түркия бауырлас.
This exhibition is a very special event. Everyone knows that our two countries are united by friendly and fraternal relations. The language and religion of the two countries are very similar. Our cultural heritage also has many similarities. Museums in Turkey display exhibits of the Mesopotamian era, the Ottoman Empire. But it is also important for the residents of Turkey to get acquainted with the heritage of the Great Steppe, because the ancestors of the Turks lived in Central Asia, in the territory of Altai. They consider Kazakhstan the homeland of their ancestors.
Орталық Азия, оның ішінде Алтай өңірінен Қазақстан жері деп есептейді.
After welcoming remarks, there's a solemn moment when the officials are cutting the ribbon to mark the start of the exhibition. Visitors will find the mysterious and amazing artifacts of the past. And so it happened. The Kazakh National Museum of Kazakhstan presented its ancient treasures at the exhibition halls. On the opening day of the exhibition, there were a lot of connoisseurs of history and visitors interested in the history of Kazakhstan. It seems like the residents and guests of Ankara were eager to learn about the immortal heritage of Kazakhstan.
Енді өздеріңіз білесіздер, елбасымыз
We observe a great interest to the procession of the Golden Man in the World exhibition worldwide due to the modernization of Kazakhstan's identity program initiated by First President Nazarbayev. It is a great honor for us to represent our exhibition in this famous cultural museum. We should always speak and promote our cultural heritage. The opportunity to see not only the Golden Man, but also a rich collection of archaeological sites about the culture and life of the tribes that once lived on the territory of Kazakhstan is a unique opportunity for the Turkish public to learn more about their Turkic roots.
Büyük Bozkır'ın tarihi kültürü sergisi bizim için çok önemli. Türk halkıyla
Our Museum of Anatolian Peoples has become the Museum of the Year in terms of the number of visitors, and this was the main message in our desire to host the exhibition of the Great Steppe in this place. The cultures of the Turkish and Kazakh peoples are inextricable parts of one big story. Turkish and Kazakh peoples are always friendly to each other and respect each other. We intend to continue to try to create bridges between our cultures.
çok ziyaretçi alan müzelerimizin başında gelmesi.
Ama şudur, Türkler büyük bir medeniyettir. Biz bugün Anadolu...
We are at the Golden Man exhibition. What we see here is the wealth of our common culture and history. We are convinced how we are united in terms of art, past, and strength. Turks are one civilization. We are now on Anatolian land, but where we come from Altai, the Tian Shan Mountains.
İsimleri vardır, marka isimleri vardır. Burada tarihimizi, kültürümüzü
Learning the history of the country again and again is a difficult and interesting task, both for scientists and for ordinary people as witnesses of great archaeological discoveries. Every year, scholars restore the picture of life of distant ancestors systematically.
Kazakistan'la ortak gıda üzerine özellikle
Thanks to the joint work with Kazakhstan, with Kazakh partners on the food topic, especially on kumis, which is fermented mare's milk, I am interested in Kazakhstan and I often go there. I saw a monument in the form of a golden man on the main square in Almaty, and I am very pleased to see its prototype here today at this exhibition.
çok teşekkür ediyoruz.
Aslında ben Kazakistan'da da gördüm. Orada çok beğendim. Bizim ortak tarihimizin
I see this exhibition as a very important and valuable part of our common history and common culture.
onun bu Türk insanına Ankara'ya gelmesi.
The fact that the Golden Man was brought to Ankara to show the connection between the two countries is very important.
Buna hizmet etmesi açısından da çok değerli bulduğum için bugün buradayım.
According to the UN World Tourism Organization, UNWTO 2019 data, Turkey ranks 6th in the world in terms of the number of tourists, and its capital Ankara, despite the fact that it is not a seaside resort, attracts travelers from all over the world who want to see the ancient monuments of architecture and history. The exhibition from Kazakhstan is going to become a must-see place to feel the spirit of ancient times and to learn the deep connection of civilizations.
We travel here. We took like 2 weeks time to travel in Turkey. Okay, we joined a travel group, and this museum I actually think is not only the one of the, I think is the best. A lot of this, I don't know how to call it, the ancient time, this stone carving thing, this, stone carving. Actually, in June, we went to a British museum. I've seen some of this, not, cannot compare with this, because you have a whole lot of it. And at that time in a British museum, I was amazed because it was about Syrian lion hunting or something. I was already so amazed. But today, I was just totally, I couldn't believe it. I found all these treasures over here.
Knowledge of the past is a necessary part of the spiritual renewal of a nation. Kazakh people march around the world together with the Golden Man so that the civilization of the Great Steppe does not sink into oblivion, but continues its global nomadism in the era of independent Kazakhstan.